Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 259 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekly edition. And yeah, I've been working outside a little bit. Remember that project I wasn't going to show you? Well, I'm going to show you. And I'm going to make it street legal. So if you want to see what's going on in this chapter, all you need to do is stay tuned. Well, yeah, I was not going to show you what I'm going to show you in this chapter. I remember when I was shooting, I think it was the electrical panel video. I pointed my camera to the overhead door in my shop and said, I'm working on this, and I don't think I'm going to take you along for the ride on that one. It was putting wheels on my longboard press. And you know what? This channel is kind of complicated. It's what I'm doing each day. Like, I don't have time to get all the things done that I want to get done and then take and shoot separate video. So if I can incorporate video into what I'm doing, that's what I'm going to do. And I did that for this weekly edition. So just to remind you though, the panel is coming quite nicely. My wife came out and helped me one day so far. We're going to do a few every time she can make it out here. And we're going to get that done. And it's so nice to have that figured out. The things that I haven't been able to figure out, I've been working with my electrician. In fact, we're working on running power to my grandkids' clubhouse. So that I didn't show you yet. We've got the conduit in the ground. You lucky people where the frost doesn't get into the ground. Not that electrical cable is a problem, like I'm following code here, it's as deep as it needs to be. But when we run water underground where I live, it has to be 10 feet under. So, this whole idea when I watch videos from the southern places that, 2 and 3 feet under, I just shake my head. That's go so easy. But anyway, that's way off track here. So, my longboard press. I've had some problems with when it comes to wheeling equipment from my storage garage into the shop. And I'm trying to clean up the area in front of my overhead door so I can lay out my cabinet modules in a precise manner. And with that longboard press in there, there's no way I could do that. So that was a necessity that needed to get done. So I took, Monday, basically, I worked on the clubhouse, but kind of Tuesday and today, worked on welding and making the steering and all those things for that longboard press. So it's all said and done. In fact, in this video, you'll see it go into storage, and it even has a license plate on it. So how many longboard jigs have you seen that can be towed along a public road and even have a license plate on them? Okay, the license plate is bogus, but it makes a nice story. So anyway, what I'm going to show you is not so much the details of building it. So the cutting, the grinding, the welding, are largely left out of this video because I'll show it things to you in stages and explain them then. I'm also finding that I just move too slow when I have to, set up the camera to get it when I'm welding to get a proper shot and all that stuff. I just don't have time. So I'm going to try it this way and see how it works. If you like it this way, leave a comment. If you don't, leave a comment. But anyway, so with that in mind, we're going to head into the weekly edition. And the outcome is I'm going to take a longboard press that basically I made the molds for. The press itself, the framework, I did some of it, but I had a student who maybe wasn't faring that well in some of his other classes, but loved to come to the shop and weld. and finished it off. So that was wonderful. But anyway, I got it back to its home address, and that's what today's video or this week's video is about. So with that in mind, let's get to the manufacturing. Well, it's a little awkward, but you can see that I managed to pull the frame of the press out through my walk-in door, which solves a lot of problems. I hadn't planned on showing you this, but basically, then I don't have to move all that plywood and I'll get all this stuff cleaned up. I can weld out here, and the wind isn't bad today, so I don't really need to put it in my little booth there, which I still have set up. So I need to do a few things to put the front wheels on. Now the back wheels, or I call it the back, but the fixed wheels were really easy to put on. Like, I'll show you more of it later. But basically, just a threaded rod across and space the wheels out enough, and away we went. When we had built this, what I did is we had here, I'll show you on the front. We had cut these pieces here. We had cut them at an angle, and with the back, I just cut the angle off. That's all I needed to do, which worked great. But on the front, cutting them off didn't leave me with enough to run a bolt through to pivot the steering on. So what I had to do is I took a piece of 2x2 tube and cut it diagonally and then welded that on, and it's welded all the way around. So, and I didn't grind anything off because all I need is this to sort of work. I'm not going to spend hours and hours flap disking everything and finishing it because it doesn't need to work that good. It just needs to be strong enough. But as you can see already, there's a problem with this here. I don't have enough articulation there to turn properly. So what I did on the other side, get you over here, is, sorry about that, I cut this back. Where are we here? I cut this back about a ½ inch, and now I have lots of articulation. That's lots. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this on the other side. But since it's a lot of cutting and grinding and stuff you've all seen before, I'll bring you back when it's done, and then we'll move on to the next step. Well, the other side is done, and this worked out really nicely. So now I have enough articulation there to turn somewhat properly. And that's going to be good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the spindle. And now the spindle is just going to be a piece of threaded rod. I'm not exactly sure how long it's going to need to be yet, but I suspect it's going to need to be at least 6 inches long. So I'm going to go and prepare that and get you ready for the next step. You know, this is kind of a junky setup with the patching and the welding. But you know what? I think it's going to turn out just fine. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Well, one of the spindles is welded and in place. So what I did is I cut 7 inches of 3/4 threaded rod. And then there's a hole drilled in the back here. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'll show you on the other one. There's a hole in back here that this fits into. It doesn't thread into it. It just lightly fits into it. And I put this rod about halfway through, this metal here. And then I plug welded this side, and I ran a fillet weld. Can't really see it. It's not the best weld I've ever done, but I think it's strong. The fillet weld on this side, and I can put a wheel on it, and it actually, here, let's see if I can do this one-handed. Let's see if I can. There we go. See? And there we get our, let's see if I can show you that. Well, how come our articulation? It works before. It never, I think, well, because I'm pushing in on it, that's why. There might be a little bit of weld hindering it yet, but that's it. Okay, and then there's a bolt, a nut that goes on here. And I'll probably drill a hole through and put a pin in so that doesn't fall off. But that might be later. But for now, this side is pinned together. So now we're going to go over to this other side and do the same thing. See, here's that hole I was telling you about. And this shaft, or this threaded rod, goes into it about halfway. See if you can see that. And then I can plug weld that. I didn't bother smoothing off the weld on the inside, but this little knuckle I made here is just two pieces of angle iron welded together. So you got to make do. So anyway, now the challenge is to take this off and weld this 7-inch piece on just like that. Okay, I'll be back when it's done, and then we'll move on to the steering. Well, I thought I'd just show you how I set up that spindle to weld it. And I think I can get around to the other side here and show you this a little better. Get the sun at my back. So I've just got, okay, knock the hammer over, see if I care. I've just got two magnets holding it, and I've kind of plumbed it by eye. This thing is not going to be going down the road at 100 kilometers an hour. At least I hope not. So close, eyeball close is good enough. Okay, just thought I'd show you that. Now we're going to weld it together. Well, there it is. It's all welded up. I didn't do too bad on the top. I made sure there's good penetration into the spindle though. And the back side, again, I tried to make sure there was good penetration. It looks better just looking at it than it does on camera. I don't know if I'm going to show you any of the welding because it's really hard to set up. And I mean, welding is welding. I mean, you've all seen it. And if you haven't, go check out some of my other videos. There's more. But for this one, my goal is just to get it done today and get this cart rolling to my storage garage. All right, so the welding's done on this. That spindle's done and on. This one needs to go there, which we will do as soon as it cools off a bit. And yeah, we're moving right along. The next thing is the steering, and that will probably slow me down a little bit. Well, it's getting close to 9 o'clock in the evening, and the sun's going down. And I think I basically have this done, tacked together, except I haven't made the handle yet, but I'll do that tomorrow. I'm just running out of time today. Trying to build this with scraps I had around the shop, and I think I did a pretty good job about it. But basically what we've done here is there's a hole there with a 1/2-inch thread that's threaded into this bottom beam. This bottom beam is a 1/4-inch thick, so that's going to be good. Plus, I didn't realize it till later. I could actually get my hand in there and put a nut on there yet if I needed. But I think what I'm going to do is take it out tomorrow, put some Loctite on it, adjust it, and then we're going to go from there. So this is the pivot. This is what, see if I can get a little further back. This is what makes this all work. So yeah, I'm a little too close with the handheld here. But here, let's get a different angle. So yeah, I push that way, and you'll notice the spindles turn. I think they're about right. Like I said before, this isn't designed to go 100 kilometers an hour. It's designed to maybe go 5. And I think I'm going to be okay with that. So what I did is I just took some of this leftover, I call it handy angle. I haven't even ground the edges yet, it's still sharp. And then I welded it on to the knuckle. See that there? Just ran a weld along there, little bit of weld on the inside. And I have to finish snugging up all these nuts yet too. They're gonna mark where the inside of the wheel is gonna go, and I'm just gonna nut them against each other, and then that's gonna be good. And there are no bearings or anything in here. In fact, there's not even a lock washer in there yet. Not sure if I'm gonna do it because I don't know if it's needed. The center pivot, whoops, okay, I didn't want that. The center pivot goes in there just like that. It's a 5/16 bolt. And again, this is drilled and tapped. That seemed to actually work fairly good with this thicker steel. And then I drilled the holes in here for the handle. So I have to fabricate some kind of a U tomorrow. And then I think I'll take the steel that I used for the triangular hitch for my lathe cart. That obviously didn't work. So this is the way it is right now. I think for the most part, there needs to be some adjustment. It's a little tight to go back and forth, but I'll get everything set and we'll do the best we can. But I think basically, I think I did everything right here. I did get this pivot a little bit high, and then I had to make a bend in the middle to pick up these things here. So I think this is going to work fairly good. But what I am going to do tonight yet, I think I'm going to throw the wheels on and maybe put it on the flat. Although I don't know if I need to worry about this thing getting stolen overnight, but I think I'm just going to leave it out here. So maybe I'll throw the wheels on tomorrow and show you that then. But yeah, the fabrication is done. And like I said earlier, I didn't show you any welding. I had planned to show me welding these things up onto the knuckle, but I did that in the middle of the afternoon and the sun was so bright here, I could hardly see what I was welding, let alone run the camera. So you didn't see me weld this time, but I'm sure you will in the future. But I have to admit, I am quite happy with this. I think this is going to turn out well. And hey, I probably have the only longboard press that could go off-roading if it had to. Okay, I'll put the wheels on and show you some other things. We're going to build a handle yet too and a hitch, and then we'll go from there. Well, it's the next day, and I didn't put the wheels on last night because I thought maybe, I don't know, if some demented world, if somebody would push this thing over and wheel it down the street, and I'd lose it, and I can't afford to do that right now. So I put the wheels on. I thought of drilling a hole through here and putting a cotter pin in, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get them tight where I want them, and then I'm going to put some blue Loctite on. This isn't, like I say, it doesn't have to be. I don't have time to do that, to drill holes and things like that. The wheel alignment, I can't really show that to you. To me, that wheel kind of looks okay. A little bit of toe in. This wheel alignment is going to be by eye. I'm working in a pretty tight space here. This one's going out just a little bit. I'm not sure if the hitch is quite straight. It looks not too bad. This one's moving out just a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. So anyway, everything's tightened up in the drivetrain here the way it should be. The wheels are on, and all I have to do today is build a hitch. And I have, this morning, I was scavenging pieces for that already. So I'll come back when that's done, and then we're going to tow it down the road. Well, I'm done. So I made a connection here. This is a piece of 2x3, and I cut through with the plasma there a little bit, so I just fixed that up, drilled the hole in it, and then cut the end off. So that made this little clevis style thing, and just welded it on to half the hitch from my failed lathe carrier. And at the other end, not to waste any parts, yeah, I can touch it, it's not hot anymore. I took the little hitch thing I'd bought at Princess Auto and just cut it to length and welded it on. So, but I wanted the hitch to kind of nest in here like this when it's being stored. I may put a little loop through here yet, I'm not sure. But I'm just so happy to have this done that this is the way it's going to go into storage. There's lots I could do yet, like some of the corners aren't rounded off, they're a little bit sharp, but this is going to do for now. So I'm going to put this thing on all four wheels and bring you back when that's done. Well, it's all done and it's sitting on four wheels. I even, for a little bit of a joke, double side taped the license plate on the back. So I'm not going to show it, obviously, but we are completely street legal. How did it work out? Well, the back was no issue. I just welded a solid axle on the back. The footprint of the back is a little narrower than the front, but that doesn't really matter. The weight is good. The wheels look good. The only problem that I think I have here, and I'll show it to you, the wheels in the front are leaning out a little bit. And I assembled everything with no weight on everything. And hand drilling the holes in the where the bolts go, right there. Hand drilling those holes in the frame itself. Yeah, I knew I wouldn't get that perfect, but I think it's going to work just fine. There are some things I need to do yet. I'll maybe put a little bit of Loctite on the nuts that hold the wheel on, and then I'm not going to bother drilling holes. And then the other thing that you can see I need to fix on this press yet is I need to get a heavier top piece because this one bends if students put too much pressure. And these are four 16-ton Princess Auto hydraulic jacks. And then the forms are basically built out of MDF and fiberglass and other things like that. The frame, the horizontal parts need to be heavy like this. The vertical parts, I used the steel I had, so that's why that's as heavy as it is. So anyway, with that in mind, I've got it all hooked up here to the tractor. We're ready to go. The steering, I've only pulled it about 10 feet. The steering seems to work okay. I think I'm going to be happy with this. This is going to let me move this thing in winter and in summer. So it's not really the right hookup. And when I did this, I wanted that hitch thing to nest in here, but with the form here, it doesn't reach there. So, well, I made a mistake in thinking, but in the end, it's going to be good. So with that in mind, I'm going to fire this thing up and I'm going to tow it to the back and we're going to set that up and see what that looks like. And here we go. Yeah, I've got the tires leaning in a little bit. Seems to work though. Well, I made it. It works. With my lathes, this was the place where the carnage kind of happened in back here. But no, the only problem I have is the wheels have too much, what is that, camber? I forget which one it is, but they're tipping out. And for what I do, I think we're going to be okay. So notice I drove fairly slow on the road, even though I did have a license plate on it, and it was completely street legal. So I should think that should be a good hook on the internet, the first street legal longboard press. So maybe that's the way the thumbnail will get listed. But anyway, that was a good build. There's so many of the skills that you need, and I love woodworking. I absolutely love turning. I love guitar building. You name it, I love it. But so many times, it's been the welder that's really kind of allowed me to do some of the things that I don't know how I would have done this without my welder. So my 3 angle grinders that I set up a few videos ago worked flawlessly. Things just worked out well. So yeah, it'll sit on this. The jacks will hold. Obviously, I need to fix the top yet, but we'll do that in another video. And the tractor's working perfectly. So with that in mind, that brings the weekly edition to a close. And hopefully I can get it out and edited today yet. And that would be great. But and I'm not exactly sure what the weekend edition will look like yet, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. Subscribers, we've stalled a little bit again. We're just over 800. It seems to go really, really slow now though. So I guess I've got a lot of time to build the 1,000 subscriber guitar for the giveaway. So that actually is okay with me too, because in summer I've got lots on the go. And as I said, I hadn't planned to show you any of this, but it's what I'm doing. Like this isn't necessarily a strictly woodworking or turning or gardening or whatever channel. It's a mix. It's everything that I do in my retirement. So this needed to be done, and it got done today. So anyway, with that in mind, please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you in a few days on the weekend edition. Take care out there. Enjoy the beautiful sunshine. It's going to rain now. Anyway, see ya.